Okay, today's agenda for March 19th. The notes for China, Japan, Canada, Mexico, those are posted on assignment 10. And before I go any further with that, let me point out that I've made a new section for this area. You'll notice I made a new section for this area that has part 2, the part that after the test. And for nationalism and imperialism, there's 2 sets of notes down here. One that we had the other day that you should have gotten done already, and one I just posted that will be for Friday. And that covers, in the notebook, that covers slides 31, starting with China and the new imperialism, through 30, starting with China and the new imperialism, through 31. Okay, so you'll have all of these done based on either notes in class or notes that I put on video. Both of those can be found in the assignment 10 in the materials. Okay, so that covers the first 2 items. Number 3, A16. This is new. This is talking about the Sepoy Mutiny and imperialism. We're going to take a little more extended focus on British imperialism. To that end, you have something we've kind of done maybe in the past. We have a assignment 16, which basically is a PDF of a reading with a form, like we've done before with this. The PDF follows the questions on the form, or the form follows the questions in the PDF. Excuse me. The form follows the questions in the PDF. Pretty straightforward reading, giving you some background on Indian nationalism, on the Sepoy Mutiny, and how the Muslims and Hindus were both outraged by the fact that new rifles had been greased with beef or pork fat, which is against Muslim and Hindu tradition. That was a prompt there. We'll get more into that with various activities. So you can, like this particular quiz, you can answer as many times as you need to get the credit that you want, the points that you want. That's the way it's set. We've seen those before. That's due Friday. Number 40 and 41 is perspectives of imperialism. Those are going to be for Monday. Please make a note. Those are going to be for Monday. These are basically looking at these ideas that are giving you British perspective, evaluating perspectives of British rule in India, and then from an Indian and from a British perspective, slides 40 and 41. Read and answer in a question in a color other than black. Complete sentences. If not, there's some that you might need one word, and there's some that you got to think about a little bit more in thinking about businesses and British rule during this time period. So basically what happens, just to give you a little synopsis, is that during this time, the British were ran by the British East India Company, making goods like opium, right, for the Chinese. Well, after the Sepoy Mutiny, they go from indirect, which is the British East India Company controlling them, to direct. And the direct rule is the crown. Okay, so that kind of covers what the perspectives are and how the British impacted them, and how the British and the Indians viewed the rule during this period. It's one where we look at imperialism, and this is a test case for it. So that will be for Monday 3/23. On Friday, I'll try to get through some of your Scramble for Africa jigsaw, so we can come back and look at this slide in more detail. So we haven't forgotten about this. You're supposed to have your slide that has your assigned sections, and we'll come back and look at that in more detail. That has screencasts and slides for your assigned section. We'll come back and look at that in more detail a chance to look at those. Test corrections, they're posted, they're there, they're typical. Your explanations will be thorough. I've got a sample one in there, especially about the one you missed about the revolutions, and that will be for Thursday. So some of this is just notes. Some of this you should have already done. I want to make a note of checking this for this particular time around. So you're always used to my clipboard. Okay. Well, for this particular time, probably what I'm going to end up doing is taking, these notes, the slide 38 that was due today, the British imperialism in India, which is the one where you were sliding and shuffling and talking about British imperialism in India and China, which is this one right here, where you were looking it up in section 7.4 from the China notes and explaining these major events, the Raj being the period where the British are directly controlling India after the Sepoy Mutiny, the mutiny of the Indian soldiers in 1857, and then the jewel in the crown. India, because of its resources, is the jewel in the crown in the British crown during this time period. So that was due today. So I'll probably collectively look at those for some sort of grade, probably put it in the grade book in Synergy and in Student View, because just because of the situation, it kind of makes you see that we are checking these. We'll still have an overall grade for the notebook. For this time, I may not just do it on here. That's my goal. So that covers what we're doing for the agenda for Wednesday and Thursday, and we'll be back more on Friday. So the idea right now is looking at, we're still continuing to look at imperialism and British, and especially now we're starting to focus on British imperialism in India and the Sepoy Mutiny, and especially A16 as a primer. Do this before you do the perspectives, because it won't make any sense. This gives you the general overall idea for what's happening, and I've kind of already done that too when we talked about these notes up here with the British taking over India, and you could review those as well in slide 30.